Something we didn't mention in the news roundup earlier about the Declan Rice being linked with Manchester United story. So the Guardian put up a tweet, Declan Rice's focus fully on West Ham, despite Manchester United rumours, to which Emma Malone replied, this rings a bell. He's going to join Man United, isn't he?
Poor West Ham fans. You're going to, I mean, in fairness, they're going to make loads of money, right? What do we think he will be worth?
In the current climate,
50.
you're looking at least 40 anyway, yeah.
40 or 50.
Well, he's an England international now.
People have made this point to me who've played the game, if we're going to go down this divide again. Well, he didn't play the game, but a couple of ex-pros have said to me his passing range is very limited. Like in that he breaks up play and he keeps the ball well, but I remember Kevin Kilban saying if you have a situation where you can go long and that passes on, Rice doesn't have it in him. And I just want to say that because I just hate him really for what he's done.
Unlike Luke O'Connell, he has the range.
He does.
Andrews is telling me he can ping it.
Get him in the team. I'm telling you, get him in the team.
I think he'd be a very good player for Man United, being honest.
So Declan Rice would be. So let me just read you this quote. I know there's speculation, but during the season last year, I just signed a new 5-year contract at West Ham. So my focus is fully on playing for West Ham. I've got a great connection with the fans. The fans love me, and I love them. And that's the way it is at the moment.
Well, of course, as well, West Ham have the forever blowing bubbles or whatever, and you know the way he loves catchy anthems and catchy music before games, so maybe that'll...
Yeah, but he could always do his David Brent Simply the Best impression and run out at Man United.
And we talked about Jack Grealish yesterday and his connection with Villa. That's completely different.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And actually...
I like Jack Grealish.
I know we talk about Grealish and Rice and, you know, the ones that got away.
Yeah.
I think Grealish would have had a bigger impact on the Irish team.
Absolutely, and so I've said this before. I think we're going to lament Jack Grealish a lot way more eventually than we're going to
we probably need a real playmaker more than we need a Rice. But I think, in fairness with Grealish, we probably always anticipated what would happen. And
yeah, he didn't come along and kiss the badge.
Yeah.
Just on Declan Rice, he would be a good signing for Man United. He's exactly the type of player that they should be signing. They should get him this summer as opposed to waiting another year to see how he develops.
Absolutely. He probably would cost a fair bit of money, but like in horse racing parlance, he's still quite unexposed. You know, he's had one proper full season. I felt Matic was very disappointing this season. Herrera's obviously gone, and that holding midfielder, he's definitely... I'm not saying he would go straight into the team and play every week necessarily. He probably would.
Yeah.
But no, I think I really like him as a player. I think he's exactly what they need.
And if you're Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you want a bunch of those players who are underexposed, because then you can say, I'm building a team. And so I'm not writing off this season, but anything that happens this year is a bonus. And we're looking 18 months, 2 years down the line to give yourself a bit of breathing space, because otherwise every result becomes, are they going to sack him this week? Are they going to sack him this week? Are they going to sack him this week? Yeah,
and
you need to change the narrative if you're Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Absolutely, and you need to... I think as a coach, you need to bring in young, hungry players who can improve under you, not players that are completely proven like Mourinho brought in, which really didn't work. Declan Rice would be one of them. Whatever Solskjaer's scouting network is, to Manchester United is still a huge name, and an awful lot of people will want to play there. There's Rice wearing his beloved England jersey, but I think, you know, Rice is a young player who would energise the dressing room. I think bring in young players who have a point to prove. And bear in mind, this is a dressing room that seems to have completely down tools twice this season.
Yeah,
once for Mourinho, and then like after that the second leg against PSG, the downfall since then has been truly astonishing. And the character of that dressing room, I think it needs a bit of a purge. I'd personally get rid of Pogba in a heartbeat, and I'd bring in good characters into it. But I think Rice, like I think Matic the game has passed him by a bit. I think he's just too slow.
Yeah.
And I think Rice, despite
cash in on all those players, there's still a market for most of those players. You'll get some value on some of them. You get great value on Pogba.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah, and I tend to keep the English players as best you could anyway, to build some sort of a dressing room there, which is gone. But the likes of Pogba, I'd be straight away getting rid of him. Obviously Sanchez will be gone. I'd purge a load of that dressing room if Solskjaer has the actual authority to do that, which is another matter.
If he doesn't, then
he shouldn't be in the job.
Well, you at that point you're just...
But did Mourinho have the authority to do it? He probably didn't either.
There was definitely... He didn't have the authority to buy who he wanted, and they would buy players and he'd be like, that's not what I wanted.
Did he want Pogba? Did he... If he wanted rid of Pogba, but it meant he had to go, otherwise I think they would have said, well, you can go because Pogba's a bigger asset to us in terms of, you know, our share price.
Media.
yeah, I think it'll be fascinating. Like, I don't think Solskjaer is necessarily going to do a terrible job at Manchester United, but I think this is the summer where he has to say, I'm in charge here, and just get rid of the bad influences and just and get money in as well.
Yeah, it's been interesting when the Americans have taken over that they haven't been as trophy hungry as some of the other billionaires or countries who've taken over, because in American sports you don't win that often.
Yeah,
like you don't actually.
Yeah, there's one winner.
Exactly, and so and it's a bit of a lottery generally in most of the American sports. You do then have dynasties like the Golden State Warriors and the Patriots, but they're very unusual. And I wonder if like they're just happy with making the money, and that's where this disconnect from the fans comes from.
Very, very possible. Maybe this is the future of the League of Ireland, where it'd be like, wow, it's grand, we're making loads of money here. But do you remember when, what was it? Was it 95, 96, where Ferguson got rid of, I think he got rid of Hughes, Kanchelskis, maybe one more as well? Was there one more player where you weren't going to win it with kids? There was a big purge that summer, and they went on and just he re-energised them. But I think that's a proper manager, where it's like, I have the authority. None of you was bigger than, even the same with Keane, where they basically had fallen out at the end. Yeah. It was like, that's the way it has to be. So Solskjaer clearly doesn't have that authority at the moment, because the players completely gave up at the end of the season. So I think Manchester United will be fascinating this season, and regardless of them not being in the Champions League, they're still a big draw for so many. Like, they're still, thereabouts the biggest club in the world.